talk, he had a really good breakdown of that whole EO executive, and he's like, it's not really going to happen. Trump knows, and I like how he put it. He said Trump knows that it's not going to go through. Like even the way he talks about the drug companies, he knows that he's just doing it for popularity. He's not actually trying to cut drug prices. It's not going to happen because power of the purse. I think that's the logic for it. Like you can't you can't sign an executive order.
Well, like if you look at Mussolini's policy platform and the doctrine of fascism, which he only wrote, I think, the second half. But regardless, the platforms fascist parties always ran on was very worker-centric. It was all about giving the nation back to the workers. The workers are the nation. The working class is so amazing and so impressive and should control the country so much that every single person is going to be forced to be working class in the mines. So that messaging was always there in these communist revolutions and these fascist revolutions. And this is just a natural extension of the Trumpist versions of the Maoism or whatever leader you want to copy it with. And whenever Trump does something popular, it's only for political power. You have to look at everything Trump does in terms of power, bribery, corruption, pure raw power. That's why Chuck Schumer sucks right now for this moment and all the time pretty much. But like we wrote him a strongly worded letter and he's gonna be coming any second now. It's like that institutionalism matters. We need to bring it back to that, but that's not gonna get us back to it. We cannot use institutions in the Constitution to save us in a post-constitutional moment, which is what Project 2025 got us into. But yeah, thank you for the call. Do you have anything else?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. That was breaking up a little bit. No, but yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I guess I told my friend, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I told my friend, I was like, bro, I'm telling you, I don't think he's gonna recognize Palestine. I don't buy this whole drug thing. I don't really even think he's trying to do it for real. But we'll wait and see, I guess. But thanks again, Jolah. I just want to hear.
Someone in the comments said, "Still stuck on Project 2025." Yeah, just because you're a brain dead, Weenie Hut Jr. licking asshole, just because you don't know anything about the world at all. He's doing it step by step. I know you can't read with your dumbass. I don't even care. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the comment.
All right, man. Take care. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one. I don't care. Let's see. I can't get mad at them. I need to remember they can't read. So thank you so much, Lori. $5. Thank you. Thank you for answering my cries. Or I love you, Jay. They are not Christians or patriots. Thank you. Thank you so much for the donation on Cash App. And always, King Sri. Thank you, Sri, for $5 on Venmo. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I'll take another caller. Thank you. Keeping the stream running. Beautiful. My other stream is up now too. I'm gonna open up 50 different streams. Here we go. Here's a caller. I'll update that number on the screen. Thank you. Nice. Call back again, buddy. I refreshed it for you, buddy. Okay, your calls aren't going through because you're calling too quick. I'm not gonna lie. You're a little needy. You're a little needy, guys. You're a little needy. Just a little needy. Not that much needy. Just enough. Just enough needy for my phone to not work because you're calling so much. Calm down, brother. I can't answer the phone if you're calling every second. Holy moly. What's going on here? No one's calling, dude. Cooked. Trump destroyed the planet. What is a planet? Half of the planet? Taking advantage of? Oh, yeah. I'll just call you, buddy. It's not working on the other end. Hello, what's up?
Is this the political debate that's going on?
This is the politics thing.
Oh, is it? All right. I've been trying to call you for a while now, and I just thought maybe you had your phone blocked.
Good work. No, I shut it off during calls, so it won't answer right away when I take it off or turn it back on.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. The last two political debates that I've called into, they didn't have any of that. So
Yeah, I got you. Yo, what's up?
Anyways, so are you still live?
Yep, I'm live.
Alrighty. So what exactly is your main, like your main problem with Trump? And we'll go off of that and we'll debate on that.
I guess the pure detachment from any basic reality in the world, whether it's tariffs or immigration or whatever it might be, everything's a propaganda campaign. The attorney general's on Fox News 24/7. The transportation secretary is on Fox News 24/7. Everyone's on Fox News. It's with Trump's cabinet, he just made state media, so it's been a really big issue.
Well, bear in mind, I don't trust any news source, whether it be Fox, CNN, MSNBC, or HuffPost, or anything like that. Like any kind of state-sponsored media, I don't trust because it just seems like we're delving.
Okay, well, like
more
the positions in the White
right.
House that used to do jobs, Trump has converted them to be state-run media essentially. Like Pam Bondi is on TV more than she breathes. Okay, she is on TV 24/7. So is the transportation secretary. As the airports are crumbling, he's on Fox News trying to blame it on Biden. So like the complete the lack of any tether to reality, the lack of care for making your country good, the abandonment of any principles our country cared about, taking money from Qatar. And there's so many things I can't even. I mean, we just have to talk about things you want to talk about because there's like I can go on for hours about the issues with this administration.
Okay, well, I was just asking what your number one issue was, but
there's so many, man.
Yeah, that's fine. So what about the tariffs? As far as that goes, like that's the biggest one right now. Everybody's talking about, even those the laymen who don't really understand what tariffs are. What is your problem with tariffs?
The fact that Trump still says things such as we don't pay for the tariffs and we're taxing the other countries, and a trade deficit means we're losing money. He just said it's good that people are losing jobs if they're truckers or if they work on the docks. Because that means we're not getting screwed over anymore and we're not spending money. So that means we're gaining money. He says things that are completely just wrong about the world and just factually incorrect. And to the point where their own narratives are not following their lies or their actions. Like the China tariffs and across the board, they said it's going to be good for revenue. It's going to be good for growing the economy. Actually, it's going to be good for revenue and growing the economy and bringing jobs back. But also we need to use it for negotiation because we're harming both countries in order to make sure the other country removes their barriers. So like, it's been completely wacky for that reason. And also it's the biggest tax increase done by a president with his pen in American history without Congress. It's the biggest tax increase since 1960s in general. And they just lie about it. So.
And that's fair to that point if you're looking at it simplistically. So can you name me one country, one trade partner, even a trade partner, not even an adversary, like I would say like China or anything else? Can you name any country that does trade with the U.S. that doesn't impose tariffs?
Every country uses tariffs in some way, but no country I mean, we are putting huge tariffs that are like triple what other countries are doing for us. So it's like that's not even a conversation, I don't think.
Well, I agree with what you're saying. Like we're doing retaliatory tariffs, which is, I guess, what some people would see as a problem. But if you look at the United States and their trade partners, quote unquote, you would have to see that we would have to try to state some kind of balance because we did not rack up the debt that we have if it wasn't for the tariffs by ourselves. Like there's no way that United States trade, international trade, has increased the debt without the other countries imposing tariffs.
Also, just really quick, I don't really care. That conversation, I don't think matters much. But like, we have a huge tariff on the UK and Australia, and we have trade surpluses with them. So we're just making up random numbers. We have not tethered anything to even talking about trade deficits. We have not done reciprocal tariffs. We have not done any of that. These numbers are all just completely fake and arbitrary. Like there's no reason to do any of this. It does not make any sense other than the biggest argument I've heard is that Trump likes being able to use tariffs for corruption because people need to call him and beg him. And he's even said this, need to beg him for exemption. So he likes it because it's something he could do by himself. And it's a way he can leverage the presidential office in the most corrupt manner possible. So I kind of agree with that because it's not beneficial in any other way.
Okay, so in that sense, so when Abraham Lincoln imposed tariffs against France and Spain, because they were going to, support free trade with the South, with the Confederacy, and not to the Union, that was also the same kind of thing. Like that was also the same precedence.
No. Okay, so the type of tariffs Trump is doing are not grounded in any logic. That's the issue, the type he's doing. Because we're not talking about tariffs in general. We're talking about whatever the mess is. The Trump tariffs are completely untethered to reality in any argument they make for it. And they've made arguments that contradict each other. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they've made arguments that say tariffs are good and bad. Like, they've made arguments that say it's good for funding and also bad for funding, and good for the economy and shrinks the economy, and we're gonna bring back jobs, but actually the jobs are gonna be all done by robots. So like even in their own internal like mess, they can't be consistent on that.
Well, see, I'm a civil man. Okay, I'm a very civil. I'm a member of the Teamsters Union, and
Okay.
I do blue collar work, and I think that if it like honestly afraid of not just AI, not necessarily AI, I would say, but some company in China manufacturing some kind of way to do my job better, which would put me and hundreds of thousands of people out of a job.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily see the tariffs as a bad thing. It keeps my job secure. And I think that if the tariffs continue, that there's be more support and more not regulation, but more protection for blue collar jobs. And the tariffs I don't necessarily see as a bad thing because it would increase U.S. manufacturing, and that would make us a major trade partner in the world over time. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen very soon. I might not even see it in my lifetime. But the U.S. was made a global power in trade because the fact that we had the manufacturing capabilities after World War II in order to supersede those of the countries that were ravaged by the actual fighting in World War II. So what would be the problem with making us a global superpower in that sense, outside of just making the U.S. be the bad guy and saying that the U.S. is just bad in general?
So like right now, we are empowering China with the tariffs. China has never been more successful with global trade than they are now, and that's one reason why Trump has to take them away because we're tariffing every country globally. And as a result of Trump changing policies randomly, and because our Congress refuses to stand up to the guy making up numbers, other countries and other businesses are saying the U.S. is not a very stable place to invest, and we're making China seem like a much more stable host, which is really bad if people trust China more. So we've seen deals between Japan, South Korea, between Europe and China, and all these countries that we are kind of pushing together because we set like a embargo on the U.S. Now, for protecting jobs in America, tariffs are probably going to make it be a decrease in jobs and a decrease in manufacturing because the input costs for building factories, for getting work done, for overall demand and economic activity is going to be so destroyed by the price controls and tariffs that Trump is setting. In the same way that like socialism and price controls might ruin an economy and create shortages, tariffs can do a very similar thing. And also, the reason why jobs decrease is because people have less money. The economy does not do as well. It's a huge tax. You're putting crippling taxes on mainly the working class. It's one thing to tax like the rich more, to for example like pay for subsidies or do like I'd be in favor of doing tax credits for people like you and the company you work for to protect those jobs. But I would not want to do tariffs. My opinion is, which I think Biden did pretty well with the chips and science. Instead of doing crippling tariffs globally, we can grow our economy quickly and use this powerful economy and trade system to do subsidies, to do tax credits, to build this domestic manufacturing. If we really want to protect workers here, we can use this machine that we crafted as a result of, like you said, after World War II. We benefited greatly from World War II. We were able to set the military alliances. We were able to set the global trade alliances. So when Trump says we're getting screwed over, we set the system. We were the ones benefiting this entire time. But we can win this system if we do other things to protect American manufacturing. I would just say tariffs are the least effective way to even try to do that. And there's a reason why, like, India is the only country that uses rates of tariffs even close to what we do, and their economy is in shambles for working people. So that's my whole thing. There's ways we can do this in a real smart way that'll protect workers, protect other parts of the economy, make America stronger, and not make all, because like trade wars, these countries are pissed at us. These countries are pissed. These people in these countries are pissed. Like, why is America starting trade wars with us? This kills people. This shuts down businesses, small businesses. It takes away jobs. Like, we are doing acts of aggression upon our allies and pushing them towards China. We could do all of the same things that you want to do without doing all the bad stuff.
Well, and fair enough. So, like, when it comes to trade partners to the U.S. that haven't necessarily been playing into the U.S. or even their own country's interests, as far as that goes, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that Trump is the most eloquent person, has the most thought-out plans out there. But at the same time, like, we deal with trade with every other nation in the world, and they all have tariffs against us. And we have damn near almost zero tariffs against them for any kind of import, export, anything. And so why is it okay for the United States to have zero, tariffs, but then other countries, every other country we deal with or do trade with, they have tariffs and it supports them? If tariffs are such a bad thing, why is it that, say, Canada and Mexico and China, Taiwan, and Venezuela, and all these other countries have tariffs against us? If it's such a bad thing, wouldn't they be also hurting their own economy?
So, like, targeted tariffs are reasonable, but there's no country in the world other than, like I said, like India and very weak, pathetic, small, not pathetic, but very small, weak countries, third world countries, or countries in like Africa that have dictatorships and or like North Korea, like those countries have extremely high tariffs. We are not doing anything close to that. They have actual plans in these countries, like Europe, for example. Europe and Australia don't take our beef because our beef is chemically polluted. Okay, they don't want our beef supply. And in Mexico, it's also for genetic reasons why they don't take corn, or why corn has a high tariff. So they have reasons why they do these things in targeted ways. But as a general economic policy as well, we have to remember, like, why are we tariffing and they aren't, or why are they tariffing and we're not? Tariffs are a tax on the American people and on small businesses that do imports. And regardless, like Canada and Mexico being subjected to these high tariffs, it makes no sense. Like, Trump negotiated the current trade deal, the USMCA, with Canada and Mexico. The fact we're attacking those allies makes zero sense for anyone involved. It just seems like a power game at that point. But like like I said, the tariffs. I don't know why we need to tax the American people more. I mean, we can tax the rich more and pay for tariffs and pay for subsidies and tax credits for people that need it, rather than hurt the economy in general.
So as far as taxing the rich, as far as that goes, so you want to talk about taxing the rich. So with our GDP, with minus our debt, even if we tax the rich, how long do you think we'd be able to tax the rich for before the rich are bankrupt and we have no more rich to tax from?
The average company right now is doing $300 million, $500 million, a few $1 billion in stock buybacks. They can easily afford a tax rate that's like 5 percentage points higher. Or if you want to tax through other ways like income or capital gains, we could easily move that up a couple percentage points and create tons of revenue, so we don't need to run these big budget deficits. It's actually really easy to stabilize our budget. We could be running a surplus right now and have a tax rate that's comparable to, that's still lower than like Europe, for example. Like, we could do all of this. We don't need to do crazy taxes. I would argue right now, by the way, that Trump is doing the tariffs are a tax on these companies that will cripple it, because that's at the point of sale, and it's a high tariff for consumers as well, which kills consumers in the economy. So what you have is, if you have these tariffs, you have inflation, and you also have a slow growing economy, so you have stagflation if you keep these on forever. So like, there's a tons of reasons why. I guess I would ask you though, like, would you, if you had to choose between what I'm saying, like taxing the rich a little bit more and doing tax credits and subsidies, or doing tariffs, which are a tax on you too. It's a tax on you, me, everyone in America, the poor, the rich. It's a tax on all of us the same. Probably working class people more, because it's a regressive tax. I just think we should, and Biden did that with the Chips and Science Act. I think we should do a bunch of Chips and Science Acts for all the different industries we want to support in America if we're going to do this. We should not do these acts of like war against these countries through these like crazy tariffs Trump is doing right now.
I am more so the U.S. being more so a separatist away from the global economy and developing our own economy first, which is what every nation is doing right now anyways, considering that every nation, I would say sophisticated nation, any kind of global power in the world right now is working on trying to develop their own economy, completely deprived of any kind of trade. I would say we need to try to be more on par with them and try to, bring back manufacturing to the U.S., which would lower our unemployment and also increase our GDP. And if every state got on board with that in the U.S., we would be the most powerful country in the world again, because, we used to think most countries in the world are the size of one of our states. And if our GDP can rival theirs and we have 50 of them, we would be able to decrease unemployment. We'd be able to increase GDP. We'd be able to increase global trade. And that would put us in a position where we would be safe from foreign attacks or domestic attacks in that sense. And also the people who actually live here in the United States would have a better go at life, instead of trying to make a trade agreement that's going to increase the prosperity of another country. We need to be focused more on our own people than the people across the seas, because that's their problem. This is our problem. We don't need to sit there and try to make
we're doing business deals with these countries, though. We're trading, which is beneficial to all the countries. And you could say the trade deals are not good. We can change the trade deals. We could just do that. We could negotiate them. We're America. We have that ability. But like China is increasing global trade by more than any nation in human history right now. They're growing at a huge pace because of the way they're entrenching themselves in a bunch of economies throughout the world. So I would say like us taking a backseat now probably gives up the entire game to China as a superpower. And all I'm saying for the tariffs is it's not going to bring back manufacturing at all. It's going to hurt manufacturing in America because it's going to be the economy is going to be slowing down. And also one big thing to remember, if Donald Trump is going to be taking tariffs on and off every year, we're in a free market system, unless if you are in support of like socialism. Like these companies want to make 10-year investments. So if Trump is going to say, okay, we have 110% tariff today, actually it's 200% because I'm on my menstrual cycle, or actually it's 10%, it's actually 500% because I'm feeling goofy today, it's actually 2%. If Trump's going to be doing this with executive power and Congress is not going to take that, companies are not going to make 10-year investments to bring back these jobs to America, especially when China can just sell through Vietnam, or like India, companies can just move to India or Vietnam or Cambodia or another country. That's the big thing here is companies are going to evade this until Trump is gone, because it's not an actual plan. It's a fake plan, and he's going to be hurting. He's probably going to put you losing your job at a higher chance, because companies are going to be so like, as we take power away from the people and allow the rich to take over society more, it's going to be that's the big battle right now. It's just like the plan you're talking about. I agree with your goals, by the way. I agree with your goals largely, but like the thing Trump is doing, I believe is going to hurt your goals. And I appreciate the call, but yeah, that's just my view right now.
Well, so the way I'm seeing it now is that it needs to be like the tariffs. Yeah, they're going to hurt for a little bit, but I would much rather take a little bit of pain in order for my children to have a better, chance of having what my parents had. Because right now in the United States, we have, my generation at least, we were going through more hardship than my parents had. And we have no benefit to show for it. Now, every country is out looking for themselves, and I still don't understand why the United States has to look out for everybody else's trade agreements and look out for their benefit instead of our own. And also, if we are seen weak on the trade scale, what's going to say that we are not going to be seen weak as militarily, which I've worked in the firearms, sector in the United States for a while. And I know that we don't have nearly as much, firearms and ammunition that we need in order to even train the new recruits. And it's getting to the point where it's kind of scary for me. And my blue collar job is not going to be affected nearly as much, considering that I work for the road department of my county, and the roads need to be developed, and we still don't have the funds necessary because we don't have enough people who are actually willing to work in those jobs, because they're going to outsource to somebody else. I see the tariffs as a benefit because it's going to incentivize more people to buy U.S. and try to trade in U.S. goods from state to state.
Well, and what we're seeing right now, actually, I'm sorry, but like there's a lot of stuff behind this. So like American companies, so let's say you're selling something from China that costs $20 in America now. And now that $20 product is going to cost $30 because of tariffs, and the American product was costing $22, more expensive than the Chinese product. Now that the Chinese product is $30, the American product is also going to cost $30, because now the American companies have free lane to move up their prices to charge people more because they can have cover with the tariffs. And now the market competition would say, well, if everything else costs more in America because 90% of businesses have to import to even survive, small businesses, now the American companies that make 100% American, now those prices can also raise since they have less competition in the market. The Chinese products in America are bringing prices down. I just need, like, when you say I'm okay with short-term pain for long-term gain, all I'm saying is there is zero reason at all to believe there's going to be any long-term gain with the tariffs. Any Intel factory you see coming back, any chips factory, is because the Chips and Science Act Biden did is giving them subsidies and tax cuts to build in America. We need to give subsidies and tax cuts to these companies, or they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do a 10-year investment based off of this one person's like opinion that day on what tariffs are. That's the only thing. I just don't want America to go through pain short term and get nothing out of it. I'm okay with, by the way, like a big shift in America, whether it's healthcare, or whatever else it might be that can be difficult. But my issue is this is probably just the government taxing the American working class more to pay for their tax cuts for the wealthy. Why are we not taxing the people that got us into this mess? Why are we giving tariffs to the American people? Why are we punishing our people in America because our leaders sold off our economy? I'd rather make them pay for it and make America a superpower rather than, do what we're doing through the tariffs right now.
Well, because even if we were to try to enforce justice on those who have gotten us into this mess, which I agree with you, the millionaires and billionaires got us into this mess, but it's going to be the working class that gets us out of it. Now, if we start taxing the millionaires and millionaires, what are they going to do? They're going to go to a different country where they have tax breaks, and then they would still use our production facilities in order to make their profits. And then pay the taxes.
I promise you with everything in my body, okay? If we raise the corporate tax by 4% or raise income tax by a couple percentage points back to what Bush had, it'd be a huge increase for our revenue. Really good for the budget. We could spend that money to help the American people. And also, they're not going to leave America. If they're not going to leave America because of the tariffs, they're not going to leave ever, okay? They're not going to leave America. We're the biggest economy in the world. At least we've been. China might overtake us, but they're not going to leave to Europe. They don't want to go to Europe. They would do that already if that was the big issue with the tariffs. But, like, we could tax the rich more, I promise you.
So I have a question for you. So if say me being a blue collar worker and everything else, say with my firearms background, say I start making a firearms manufacturing company that's going to help the U.S. military and make billions of dollars. Why would I, as a blue collar worker now making a pittance compared to most of those people, why would I even try to make a company here in the United States in order to get taxed to no end later on down the road? And what's the incentivization for me to be able to try to make money here in the U.S.?
No, we're talking about if you become like a multi-billionaire, you might worry about this, but I would not be increasing your taxes. Any person that's a real person that works for what they have would not be affected by what I would want, or by even what Democrats want right now. Like, if you're a working person, you make a business, you would not have higher taxes. The billionaires would. You would not. If you're a billionaire, I think you should be happy to pay taxes.
If you look at the Democrat taxes on the defense sector, that would be a huge hit for me. And I'm saying Democrats specifically in that field specifically because with my firearms knowledge, if I were to develop some kind of, any kind of weapon system that would give us an edge against our enemies and everything else, it would still give me a problem because I don't know if I'd be able to develop that company in the U.S.
See, that's the issue. That's the issue with this right here. Like, the issue you just brought up with the tech industry is such a great example because it shows exactly why tariffs are going to kill manufacturing, right? Like, we have to import those minerals. Like, 90% of those minerals, we import them. So, like, if you work in anything in relation with the tech sector, tariffs are the worst possible thing. That's why Trump is going to give probably exemptions to tech companies, hopefully, because that's going to kill American manufacturing in these areas. So we are reliant. The reason we're in such a modern era with all these fancy technologies, the reason why we're living longer than ever, the reason why we're coming up with like new cancer breakthroughs is because of global trade, to be honest. Like, that's one of the reasons. So, like, the issue you just brought up with taxes, that is what's happening right now with investors. That's why the stock market's going down. The stock market doesn't really matter directly, but it shows that there's a lack of investments and actually a degrowth in the economy, a shrinking in the economy. So that's a perfect point for why tariffs are bad. It's because you're overtaxing at the point of consumption.
I was saying the higher taxes also kills entrepreneurialism. Sorry, I can't pronounce that word. It kills the incentivization of people trying to create new companies.
No, but okay, I'm telling you, if you're creating companies, for example, if you invent something, okay, under these like income tax increases, if you're not a billionaire, you probably should not worry that much. It does not kill innovation. And by the way, the taxes I'm talking about are like very basic Bush level taxes or Obama level taxes. Okay, these are not socialist taxes or 90% taxes or whatever. These are very basic, like it's a very minor increase so that companies don't spend money on stock buybacks and instead they can pay taxes so we could actually support American workers and American families. Like I'm not talking about using 90% taxes or anything crazy.
But with that tax increase, it also comes with the fact that you come up with good idea. You came up with a good idea for American manufacturing. You get taxed to hell. That's going to stop you from wanting to create any other kind of American-made industry because you got taxed to hell the first time.
Where am I going to go? Wait. Okay, no. Okay, you're not getting taxed to hell. If you are able to make millions of dollars, you should not care about the top marginal tax rate. I would not care. I would still keep making in America. What other country are you going to invent in? And also, how much money does someone need? If a 2% increase makes you not want to invent anymore, you're not a real inventor. If a 2% tax increase on the top 1% makes you completely shut down and not invent anymore, you should not be an inventor. You are weak. You are pathetic. You should not be in the American economy. You're not built for a functioning country if you're that weak that you cannot be an inventor in a country that increased their tax rate by 2%. Because I guarantee you, they're not going to go to Brazil. They're not going to go to China. They're not going to go to Russia. They're not going to go to Europe where the taxes are much higher. Like, they're going to be staying in America, I promise.
At what cost, though? Like, you're saying that if I create a company in the U.S. and that makes millions of dollars, that I'm not going to be incentivized to go to another country, which is going to be worse, but at the same time, we should be better here in the U.S., considering we are the standard for free trade, are we not? So if I wanted to share my invention with somebody else or whatever else, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Wait, do you not see how the tariffs would hurt what you're saying right now more than income tax increases for the top 1%, right? Like the tariffs are on working class people too, and small businesses. Like, 90% of small businesses import things. 90% import things.
And if it didn't import in, it'd be better.
No, but you need to. The things we make in America are not possible without global trade. The modern society we have created is not possible without global trade. Even the wages we make now in America are much higher than they were 40 years ago because of global trade, largely because we put all the bad jobs in those countries and we gave us more higher level blue collar jobs that pay more. I think they should pay even more. But like I'm just saying, the tariffs would be really bad for what you're saying, man.
No, I'm saying that if we didn't have the imports from other countries, that wouldn't shut down a business that you're trying to start. If we had mining in this country, that would actually support a business.
We don't have it though. That's the issue. We do not have it for capacity for the mining we need. It'll take 30 years to develop. Okay, if that. And also, like I said, countries are not going to invest, or companies will not invest in America with these super high tariffs. That does kill investments. We need to import many different things. Coffee we cannot make in America. It's impossible for us to make coffee in America.
Why can we not make coffee in America, considering it is a North and South America import originally in the 1700s?
We cannot. We don't have the climate to produce enough coffee to supply it for our country. We make like 1% of what's necessary to supply it for America. America, with how rich we are and how much we consume and how much people use in America, we cannot survive without the global economy and global trade. We have benefit from global trade. We have been the huge winners of global trade. America has.
So you're saying that our North American climate can't grow coffee beans to sustain just our economy? Granted, if we cut out every other country that we trade with coffee, are you saying that we cannot grow in this country enough coffee to sustain just our population?
Yeah, we would not be able to, unless if we made everyone leave Hawaii and we made Hawaii only be a coffee production island, and that's it. Then maybe we could, maybe we have a chance. And maybe Puerto Rico.
What about Colombia, Venezuela, and what about Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico especially. Puerto Rico is a decent.
It's not nearly enough. It's not nearly enough, especially with natural disasters and everything, and shipping is expensive.
What about West Virginia? What about Georgia?
You can't do this you can't even do this in Florida or California. You cannot grow these in Florida or California.
So California's too dry and Florida's too wet. So coffee is really, substantive to the climate it's grown in. But West Virginia, North and South Carolina, that's where the majority of the coffee that was.
We have to be close to the equator, okay? We have to be closer to the equator. We need a climate that will be like 70 degrees constantly, and that's all the time. It's like
where tobacco grows, coffee usually grows too. So it's not necessarily a problem with that.
That is the problem. Like, I just think it's hard to look at like how many people are in the U.S. and how many things we consume. And Americans, we use a lot of things, which is why we don't understand how bad the rest of the world has it. Because like we are winning this global trade thing, but we are very angry about things. We're angry about the system we created, largely, in my opinion, because the people who got all the money are the very wealthy, and the wealthy want us to be mad at immigrants in other countries rather than tax them more, which is the big debate here.
Did I ever bring up my precedents where I grew up?
No.
No. So I grew up on the reservation in Fort Hall, Idaho, and it's a native reservation there between Pocatello and Twin Falls, and we grew more than we could handle. We sold to the rest of the population around us. There's definitely a way we can supply what we need in the U.S. Population with just what we have around us. There's a lot of land in the U.S. that's not being utilized that are suitable for those kinds of things. But in any case, so
I wish that were true. I wish it was true. It's just not true. Like everything to do with batteries or cars or electronics, we cannot make that in America. China has most of the minerals. Taiwan, Southern Asia.
How is it that we cannot produce enough cars in the U.S. in order to sustain our economy and also sell to the other countries? When back in the 1860s, Henry Ford came out with the Model T, and he started mass producing cars to all over the place, including Germany. Like, how is
okay?
It
well, back then, cars were extremely expensive. If you were really rich, you could have one that would fall apart right away and be extremely dangerous. Like right now in America, if you wanted like 1 out of 10 people to have a car and cars to cost $200,000, we could build it all in America, but they have to be extremely expensive. The supply would be so small. Like I don't think it would need to be everything in America would need to be extremely expensive. We would collapse to a third world country right away if we completely stopped free trade. The semiconductors for electronics, the earth minerals, the different parts of a car, like made with different labor sources and different sources of the metals in different countries and different supply chains. Like a car in America that even is finished in America usually stops at like 8 different points or 10 different points, and 4 of them are going to be in Canada, 2 in Mexico, and then the final 4 are going to be in America for different specializations. It's just like, yeah, it's a lot of, we use a lot of things. Global trade helps us with that.
Well, let's talk about lithium then. So lithium is one of the major components in any battery or any electric car or anything, right? Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So there, in one of the reservations that I used to visit when I was a kid and a young adult is Thacker Pass over by the Fort McDermott people there in northern Nevada. They have a huge lithium mine there that has been untapped for so many years because of the EPA restrictions. But if they mine that, they would have, they're saying that at least for the next 50 years, they're going to have lithium coming out of it enough to produce enough electric cars and just electric cars for everybody in the United States to be able to realistically own, if they want to, an electric vehicle. So we have the resources. We just haven't used them because EPA restriction.
We don't have the tech to develop that yet. The Chips and Science Act do a lot of that and remove regulations and really encourage that in America, but we still cannot do it. We're not at capacity. And the mines we do have, even somewhat operational, I think our demand is going to be like 300,000 metric tons. Wait, it's something crazy. Let me see.
Just in the state of Nevada,
like 300,000 per year. But in Nevada, the one active lithium mine produces 5,000 per year. Right now, that would produce probably 1% of the total we use in America if we had that at full operational capacity.
Well, the Thacker Pass mine hasn't even been passed through yet, and it's because of EPA restrictions because it's on native land. But if we start utilizing this land in order to extract natural resources and then give the land afterwards back to the natives, we would be okay. And we would actually be able to dominate the world.
We wouldn't need to use this forever, by the way. It would need to be a constant thing that would maintain forever. For the amount we consume as a country, I just want, like, for the vision you want for America, you'd have to enter a Great Depression for probably 20 years before you come out of it with a different country. Like you would want to cut off all
yes,
trade. And
I'm not going to say that I'm not advocating for that, because I see it like my grandparents went through the Great Depression and they came out stronger at the end of it. And you know what? I'm sorry, but people who don't have the faculties in order to provide for their own selves, they really don't deserve to be in that sphere. But at the same time, good, honest, hardworking people need to have a chance. And the only time good, honest, hardworking people ever had a chance was during the Depression, because they were willing to do the jobs nobody else wanted to do, and they were able to provide themselves and other people with some kind of commodity. You understand what
during
I'm
the
saying?
Depression, people died of black lung at the age of 12. Like, it was a terrible time for everyone involved. Like, it was not good at all. We live in the golden age of human prosperity right now. And the fact that you think the Great Depression is worth doing again, it just shows a big misunderstanding of the world in general. And the way you're voting and acting is leading us to a collapse of America, and you don't know it. But I don't know what else I could say to you. Like, you're saying things that are just factually not true. I know you want to believe it. I want you to believe it too. But like, the fact you think the Great Depression was the best time for working people is so insane. And the fact you're against taxing the rich at all because you think they're going to leave America. You think taxing the rich is a big issue, okay? But you're willing to have a Great Depression. You're okay with the Great Depression, but not taxing the rich because some people might leave. It is not consistent at all with caring about working people. It just seems like you watch podcasts and buy into like a certain ideology from them.
No, hold on a second. So I didn't say that the Great Depression was great for everybody. Okay, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that with me being in the Native community and everything else, that we shined through that because we were the glove wearing blue collar working class of America. That we farmed and we sold to people in our community and we make things great. We try to make everybody fed. We try to keep everybody fed at the expense of the blood of our hands. That's all I'm saying. And that's exactly what America needs to get to, because people, whether it is lowly class who's picking potatoes out of a field to the billionaire class, we all need to remember exactly who the hell we are actually trying to do this for. It's not for the dollar, it's for the people. We're trying to protect our people. That's all I'm saying at all. Okay?
But you're not willing to tax the rich to do things that actually work is the issue. You want to do tariffs which are proven to not work.
If you tax the rich, so say me who has no tech savvy at all, and you take some 15-year-old kid out of high school and they want to create some kind of fucking YouTube app and make something out of that, they're going to get more rich out of what they do outside of me trying to teach people how to make their crop yields better. Do I think that's fair?
Normal.
Absolutely not. That's normal, but at the same time, that app is not going to feed people. What I do is going to feed people. I'm not saying that I want anything to happen with the upper class, but at the same time, I'm not saying that they should be taxed to hell so that nobody else comes up with more ideas. So say you
okay,
take
one more time. You are not listening to the words I'm saying. I'm sorry, but did you hear me when I said it's going to be billionaires? Taxing billionaires is not going to disencourage people from doing like making inventions or investing.
So bankrupting billionaires.
No, okay, listen again. I'm sick of you not listening to what I'm saying, okay? You seem like a nice guy, okay, but did you hear me before? Did I say bankrupting them, or did I say a minor increase to help us pay for it so we're not going in debt as a country?
How much of a percentile?
Back to what George Bush taxed the rich. Okay, back to what even George Bush's taxes were an improvement, even just pre-Trump.
Okay. So, well, we can go past that too and say Clinton was 75%, and that's fine, but who's going to go into a business and create a business from the ground up, being a blue-collar worker, and say, I'm going to make this business, it's going to be worth millions, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to make that business here in the United States, and they know full well that they're going to be taxed 75%. of everything that they make.
Listen. Okay, no one says 75%. That's not how taxes work. That's not how taxes work. Bill Clinton did not tax at 75% either. But it's going to be a minor increase for those who make tons of money. Okay, minor increase for those who make millions of dollars per year or billions of dollars per year. It's not going to disencourage a working class person from doing investments in businesses. I don't know why you keep on not listening to what I'm saying. Like, and again, tariffs are going to hurt that. The person you're talking about, tariffs are going to hurt that person. Tariffs are going to stop that person from investing. Tariffs are going to hurt the working class people, and tariffs are going to hurt small businesses the most, because big corporations are going to be able to float through tariffs, move money around, and absorb the costs. Small businesses are going to be torn apart and die. The tariffs will kill small businesses. My plan does not put the burden on working class people or the burden on small businesses. It puts the burden on the ultra wealthy that have screwed us over. The same people that make money from the YouTube you claim to care about being an issue because they don't put food on people's tables. The same stock investors that just move money around and manipulate currency to be rich. Those people should pay more in taxes to support people like you. But you are okay with tariffs because some propagandist told you it's going to protect American workers. But we talk about taxing the rich, and you think it's going to tear our country apart. Like it just makes. I just want working class people to know how to advocate for themselves. It's just sad. It's sad hearing you because you are advocating for things that are going to kill you and your family, and you think it's going to help you because you're listening to the most disgusting snake oil salesman in the freaking planet. And we should be naturally, as a union member, you should be naturally distrustful of the wealthy. That's almost like your job is to negotiate against the ultra wealthy that want to screw you over as a union. It's just so sad to hear this is the state of how people are thinking.
In our union, in Montana at least, in our union, in the Teamsters Union, which is one of the biggest unions in the entire United States, we've been screwed over time and time again by the Democrat Party, and they've been telling us, so you want to talk about snake oil sales.
The Democrats saved the Teamsters pension, right?
No, they didn't. They cut it by 70. No, not 70. Sorry, 56%. They settled at 56%, and so our pension got cut down if you are under the age of 45. And so all the old guys, yeah, they're great. They got everything made. All they have to do is last another 5 years. For the rest of us, we're screwed. Like, I'm a member of the Teamsters Union, and they're telling me that I have to make 84 years. So time served and age overall. So I have to work for another 25 years in order to make my minimum requirements for the minimum benefits of being a member of the Teamsters Union. That just happened.
You realize that when Biden allocated that $36 billion to the Central States Pension Fund, like Republicans wanted to not do that at all, right? It was going to enter complete insolvency, and Democrats did save that. I just think you don't know it. It's just...
Well, you do understand, too, that under Joe Biden, that the Teamsters Union negotiated contracts saying that we have to, under the Republican contract with Donald Trump, they said we had to work until we were at least 56 years old, and then we got our 100% full benefits. And then when Joe Biden got into office, he said that he negotiated with the Teamsters and saying that we had to be at least 64 in order to make our contract minimum, as long as when we entered the union, we were older than the age of 45. I entered the union at the age of 32. And so, therefore, I will never see a dime of my retirement until I'm sorry, 85.
But Republicans were against even providing funds to keep the fund to be from insolvency. The fact that you think Republicans wanted to decrease the age for retirement when they're against that in every single form just shows you were lied to, bro. Like, you were just lied to about that. Democrats are the ones that want to make the age a little bit lower. Republicans want to kill the unions. They want to kill the Teamsters Union. Republicans voted against the Teamsters Union in every chance to vote for it. It's really easy for Trumpers to lie when they're out of power and say they would have done something to give everyone free candy and health care. Because Trump's saying right now he wants to give, put price controls on drugs, and he's gonna go against Israel. He's gonna go against all the corruption in government or whatever. Go against the big pharmaceutical companies, which he never actually does. It's easy to say that when you're out of power, but Democrats actually came and supported it. Republicans voted against it. It's just like, I think that are you pro LGBT?
I am not.
Okay, that's why you like Republicans. That's why you like Republicans. That's why you like them. I'm just saying.
To clarify, I am more than welcome to it, just to accept somebody as they are, as long as they keep that in their house.
Yes, that's why you like Republicans. You rationalize every other worldview you have. You're doing decisions that are going to kill your job and your family because you're angry about trans people and probably Black Lives Matter. Yeah, that's why you believe all this stuff that's not true.
Black Lives, did you not hear that I'm Native? That's funny. first of all. Second of all, I completely support everybody's right to be able to express themselves how they want to.
Did you
I
support
just
BLM?
don't want to be told. I support BLM and the fact that I say and Native Lives Matter as well. Like, we all matter. And I don't believe in using that as a shield to try to make my life more important than somebody else's. That makes
There you
no
go.
sense.
Okay, you are culturally aligned with Republicans. It's fine, but that's probably why you like them more. Because everything you're saying about the economy is not factual.
What exactly
it's
has
okay,
the BLM matter? What has that actually done for me and my community?
No, I was just asking. No, I was asking just to find out where you are on cultural issues. Because usually when people from unions say, "Oh, Democrats hate us and Republicans love us," they believe it because Republicans make them happier, because Republicans like your social issues more, because you don't like gay people, for example. You don't want to see gay people or hear they exist or talk about pronouns. So you're going to say, okay, Republicans are better on everything.
With them existing. I have no problem. It's going to sound like a trope, but I have many gay friends. I have many black friends. I don't care. As long as they're good people in the community, that's all I care about. That's all I'm doing. I'm not putting my political beliefs on them. They're not putting their political beliefs on me.
Okay, do you say pronouns? Do you say someone's pronouns at least?
Well, in Montana, we don't necessarily have that issue. There's not a lot of them here.
I mean, would you?
If somebody were to actually come up to me and say, "Hey, I identify as this," as long as they're not impeding on my life, then absolutely.
Okay, I appreciate you.
That's
I was just
fine.
I was just going through the normal things, but you're not.
No, that's fine. Like if they come to me privately and say, "Hey, just to let you know, I'm going through this. I want to be called this."
I really do appreciate that. I'm just trying to find out why you believe things about the economy that aren't true. But I think it just. What podcast do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of different ones actually. So
Okay.
I listen to both conservative and liberal media. So I listen to the Young Turks.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I actually do like Cenk Uygur. He has a lot of good points. He has a lot of points that I disagree with. I listen to Destiny, and he has a lot of insight that opened my eyes to a lot of things. But at the same time, I listen to Charlie Kirk, and not so much Candace Owens because of her recent political takes. That's a little bit different. But I try to listen to everybody, and I try to get everybody's point of view before I make my decisions. This is why I am the way that I am.
Okay,
I'm not hateful towards anybody.
No, I do appreciate that. Final thing, what do you think about Trump and him saying he respects the Houthis, respects Qatar, and he is friends with them, and he's taking this plane. He just invested a golf course in Qatar. Do you think there's any issues with him taking that $400 million plane?
So are you asking me whether I agree with him appreciating the Houthis for their military action or for their political action?
I guess it's all tied together because I don't think it's by chance that Qatar is giving him $400 million planes and also letting him invest billions of dollars for golf courses in Qatar, and probably buying Trump coin in the same week where Trump is like pro-Qatar and pro-Houthis now and anti-Israel. I just don't think all that came by chance.
I've seen a little bit of that, and I understand where you're coming from. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I just want you to answer it real quick before I give my answer, and I will 100% give my answer. Are you a warrior?
I don't know what that means. A warrior.
So
I'm a grinder.
do you understand what it means to fight against a country, but also be able to align with them in certain points in order to further your agenda? Are you able to fight for what you believe in alongside others that believe what you believe in, or outside of that? And are you willing to go off of that spectrum and try to make what you seem is right be right?
I mean, if you're gonna say Trump is a warrior, I don't think he can even wipe his own butt.
I'm not saying Trump is a warrior at all, but I'm saying that I can understand where he's coming from. So, like, when it comes to the Houthis, they are technically a terrorist organization, but you know what? They've been effective at what they have been trying to achieve as far as terrorism goes. They've been able to.
So they've been good at the terrorism. The big thing with Qatar is that Qatar puts bounties on American troops, and Qatar has blood money from killing Americans. Like they make money from that.
So
and like now Trump is saying he respects them. Trump said he respects them. By the way, Trump has said much more kind words about Qatar in this week than he has said about Ukraine in the past 3 years. And Ukraine is a majority, very Christian country, by the way, that's being absolutely torn apart by Putin. And Trump has kinder words for Qatar because they're giving him billions of dollars through corrupt means.
Well, if you want to go into that, then the majority of Russia is all Christian. They're all Eastern Orthodox. So that's all.
My point is that, okay, the point, oh no. You have a really good way of rationalizing pretty much everything about the world. Oh, Trump is taking corrupt deals from Qatar. Oh, yeah, well, it's just about the warrior part. You respect them because they're good at terrorism. I think you wouldn't twist anything about the world at all. Oh, do you support the January 6th pardons?
Just to put it in your perspective, not for your podcast, not for whatever you got going on, just so you understand who I am, okay? I don't believe that might makes right. I believe that might makes. So it doesn't matter whether you believe is right, as long as you have the force in order to convince other people to follow your plan, whether it's willing or not. Might makes. It's not might makes right. It doesn't mean it's right that Iran is able to throw homosexuals off a building. It's not right that Ukraine, which I do know a lot of Ukraine, considering I've fucking been there, and I tried to sign up for the Legion there, but Ukraine used to also, gentrify homosexuals and Jews because they didn't want Jews there because they're also Eastern Orthodox, just like Russians are.
Well, now their president is Jewish, so.
Might makes. So as long as you are able to defend your position, you have the right to hold that position until somebody proves you wrong. Now, if you don't believe that's right, then explain to me the entirety of the rest of the world outside of the United States.
I mean, I can't prove someone wrong who can justify anything. It's hard to do that. But do you think the January 6th pardons were wrong?
Do I think January 6th is part of Iran?
Do you think the pardons Trump did were wrong?
Oh, the pardons? I think, so just to clarify, so I know I defended them, all of them, just to try to get your point. But at the same time, anybody who was actually convicted of assaulting a police officer on January 6th should have their fair day in court. However, the vast majority of them have never actually been tried.
That's also, Charlie Kirk says that, and I review Charlie Kirk a lot. I promise you they have gotten their day in court. You can look up their court cases. If you bring up a name to me, I can look them up. I promise you they have gotten their day in court. If they did not go in front of a jury, okay, but if they did not go in front of a jury, they may have opted for a bench trial in front of a judge rather than a jury.
I've looked at those numbers too. Those who have actually offered a plea deal, basically, in defense of their actions on that day.
Well, regardless, the people that you would say did get due process, do you think it was wrong for Trump to pardon them?
If they got due process and they were actually convicted, if they were shown in a court of law that they were actually in the wrong and committed violent acts, they should still be held and actually go through trial. And then that'd be fine. But however, the vast majority of them were not convicted of anything.
Okay, you said vast majority. For vast majority, do you think Trump is wrong for pardoning the people that did get convicted?
The vast majority? If you're going to go off the vast majority, then
is it wrong for Donald Trump to pardon the ones that did get convicted? Was it wrong for him to pardon the ones that did get proven to assault a police officer?
And outside of the vast majority?
Sure.
Okay, then I would say no. And the only qualifier I would give for that is because during the George Floyd riots, during the Minneapolis riots, during the Chicago riots, Kamala Harris herself, while she was still vice president, pardoned a hell of a lot more than those who are at January 6th.
What? Okay, again, you can justify anything, but who did she pardon for what reason, do you think?
Most of it was racial profiling.
And did Kamala Harris pardon them?
Yes, she did.
How did Vice President Harris give pardons?
She pardoned them by saying that there is no reason outside of racial boundaries that they should not be pardoned. So the DOJ bowed to that, considering that the presidency was held by Democrats.
You're a very I'm gonna be you're a very dishonest person. You are very
How
slimy,
so?
and because you can't even say that someone assaulting a police officer should be in jail still. It's really just
What
scummy of
did
you.
I not say that? Like,
No,
ask
you
your
still
chat.
said the
Did I
pardons
not
are
say
not
that?
wrong for Trump. You still said the pardons were not wrong for Trump to set those people free that gouged the eyes out police
Whoa.
officers and beat them
Okay,
with American flags. You
that's
refuse to condemn that.
gaslighting
You
to
refuse to
hell.
condemn that. Yeah, you refuse to condemn that. It's sad
Okay,
that America's in this place. Yeah.
hold on, just 1 second, sir. Okay, what did I say about the people who were actually convicted for assaulting police officers on January 6th? What did I say? I
I asked
said
you if
they should
Trump was wrong for pardoning them. They were okay if they're prosecuted and convicted and charged and charged, prosecuted, convicted, and they were sent to jail for assaulting a police officer with video evidence, with them putting a lead pipe and using that to beat a police officer, using their own riot shield to beat them and gouge their eyes out. Was it wrong for Trump to pardon that person?
I said there's also wrong for him to pardon that person, but when you said the vast majority, this is the whole thing. When it comes to the Gish Gallop, when it comes to you guys and the gaslighting, you asked me overall.
I'm not gaslighting. Okay, then I asked you later for the specific
So let me
cases
ask
that
you
you
a
see as
question.
justified. Was it wrong for Trump to pardon them? You
Let
still
me-
said no. You still said it was not wrong for him to pardon them, right?
I will let you reframe the question. I will let you reframe
I
the
reframed
question.
it already. Is it wrong for
Okay.
one last time? Is it wrong for Trump to pardon the guys that were proven to beat the cops? 100% video evidence in court. Done.
When it comes to those who are actually convicted of crimes for assaulting police officers, no. But that's
He was not wrong.
what you asked me.
He was not wrong.
No. I'm saying no. He should not have pardoned those people.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Never
saying
mind.
those-
We just okay. I thought you were saying no to he was not. He was wrong. Okay. Okay.
No,
Have a good.
if somebody was actually convicted and actually had evidence against them for assaulting police officers on January 6th, they should also be incarcerated. But when you asked me, that's not what you said. When you asked me, you asked me if the vast majority of the people on January 6th should have been pardoned, and I said yes, because it was not the vast majority of people on January 6th that were arrested and tried, quote unquote, tried for their crimes. Now, those who were violent against police officers, absolutely, they should be tried, they should be held, and they should be charged if they are guilty for their crimes. That's all I'm saying. I'm completely consistent on this. But those people who went in and took a photo op of themselves in a Capitol building, they didn't assault
There is
anybody.
not one person. There's not one person that was in federal prison for walking in the Capitol taking a selfie. Charlie Kirk is lying to you. You believe it because you're gullible. Have a good night. I don't know what to say, dude. If unions are going to be voting, or if union members are going to vote like that, we're cooked. But most union members do not sound like that, to be fair. Teamsters are a special cookie. Teamsters are a little special sometimes in that regard. It's just a little special in that regard. Okay. Oh, he hangs up when he gets a fact. Yeah, when I tell the guy. The issue is when you say things like the January 6th stuff, for example. I know if that guy watches Charlie Kirk, he just heard Charlie Kirk say it and believes it. Which it's like, how do you debate someone for their like made up position? Like, I can't debate you on if there's a flying unicorn in the sky right now. Like, okay, I guess you believe it. I can't. How am I gonna debate you out of that? You believe it. You're already there. Please drop a like and subscribe. I appreciate the support. I did see a super chat. Please consider donating to PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. I really appreciate anyone that can support me through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, through Jolah Politics on those apps. You can see it on the screen. Thank you so much for Just Harris. Take my money, liberal. I'm so generous. I'm just so generous watching such a handsome man like you right now. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Also a felon, a feline, a feminine. Would you debate Charlie Kirk? Yeah, dude. Charlie Kirk would never debate me. He has no chance against me. There is zero chance in that conversation. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it. How do you call in? Who knows? It's a mystery how you call in. It's a mystery, to be honest. It's a mystery, brother. Hey there, brother. Pop off on occasion, brother. Hey there, brother. Pop off on the occasion, brother. Okay, we'll do one more caller. One more caller for tonight. Nice. What has Trump done? Nothing. Kamala must be his savior. Yeah.
Call from.
Hello.
Hello, I was watching your stream and I saw that we had an opportunity to debate.
Yep, what's up? We could talk about whatever.
Okay, so for me, I used to be a Trump voter. Of course, he lost me at his economic policy, but one thing that I still stand with him about is the diversity and the LGBTQ stuff, which I am what I'm trying to I think what my argument here today is how LGBTQ and diversity education should be separated from public education.
I think talking about how people can be gay or be trans is more than fine. Just like talking how people can be different races or whatever else, talking about differences between people. I think that should all be fine for public education.
How come though? Because I believe that children are too impressionable, and then, well, at a certain age, before 21, I believe, right, children are more impressionable to various influences. And when you're taught gender education, this can promote ideas of like, oh, maybe I am a woman, maybe I am an individual of a gender that I am not.
I think it's okay for people to question what they are. Even for kids, it's okay to understand the world, to understand what sexuality is in general, not sex, but sexuality, or you could use a different word for it, what attraction is, or what gender is, or whatever, what gender roles are. I think it's okay to talk about those things. I mean, they could be adjusted for age, you know, and maybe in high school health classes go into it more because they talk about the birds and the bees and how to keep people safe in those classes. But in general, the idea that being around gay people or hearing about gay people is going to make you gay or not, it's just like, it's not really a thing. There's a reason why, you know, gay people and trans people have straight parents. You know, it's not something they learn. It's just kind of how they are.
Interesting. Yeah, because I had a friend. He told me that. Well, I used to live in LA myself. They had mandatory gender education classes in their fifth grade. In their fourth and fifth grade, they had like intro to gender education classes that were not optional.
Okay. If you're learning about something in the world, you could talk about adjusting curriculum, but I don't think that's exactly like a big danger to anyone. You can disagree with it and vote in new school board members. But like right now in Oklahoma, they're putting 10 commandments in the classrooms, which is an actual violation, I think, of religious freedom. Rather than just being against the group, like that's a big issue legally, in my opinion. But you know, when it comes to teaching about anything at a young age, I don't think it should be explicit. But just talking about gay people or gender, I don't think is bad.
I mean, yeah, good points, good points. Yeah, you've changed my opinion. Have a good day, good sir.
Okay, thanks. What a fake caller, brother. What a fake caller. Fake caller. Fake caller. See, that was a fake caller. I did not plan the fake caller, but it was a fake caller indeed. Thank you for the fake call. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping me answer a question and get some reps in, brother. That's like giving your friend basketball shots. Shoot around. Okay. Please drop a like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Join Discord. Please join Discord. We need more people to talk in Discord, especially if you ever stay up and talk to people on the internet. There's around 15 people talking in Discord right now. I'm lying. There's like 10 people talking in Discord. Discord link is in the channel description, in the stream descriptions, and all these different descriptions. Join the Discord. I'll put it in all the chats as well. Join Discord. Video descriptions, stream description, all the descriptions. Join our Discord. We need more people to talk to. There's a bunch of people in there right now. Go talk to them. I'll be there in a second after this caller. I'll be in the Discord. Oh my goodness. Holy wind. You got all the wind at your back. Hey, you have you have a lot of wind.
Oh, let me turn the AC down.
Oh, you're in front of an air conditioner. I thought you were outside and like on the ocean or something on a sailboat.
I just had one question.
Okay.
Do you believe that Mexican black white lives matter?
Yes, I do. Okay.
We want to make sure you get the coverage you want and all of the discounts available.
Thank you. I'd like to call in. Thank you. Well, you could just call in.
I know you may disagree, but like the whole truth.
Yeah, I listen. I love Trump, but I just heard some guy get off on you with all kinds of bullshit, man. Have your freedom of speech, bro, and the whole bit, you know. And I appreciate the fact that you have your choice and everything.
I appreciate this. I think this guy heard the voicemail that someone left me earlier. The really aggressive voicemail. Thank you for that. When my album comes out, it's a time by John Cena. And what? I just got talking about John Cena,
Call
dude.
from.
Oh no. Hello.
Is it Joe?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, we're live. Okay. So I've been watching your show. I'm not really gonna say. Well, I wanted to say another L for Trump and Trump supporters live on your show. Is that okay?
Sure.
I just had my fucking surgery.
Oh,
I'm trans.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, he tried to stop trans people from having surgeries. He failed at that too. So that's another fucking L for them.
Hell yeah. Take that L to the bank, as they say. No, I thought you were calling about like a root canal or something. Like, yeah, I got my surgery. Yeah. No.
Oh, no, I did have actually fillings before the surgery myself. But no, I just saw you guys are live again. I'm just like, yeah, there you go. There's another fucking L for Trump's team.
Yeah. No, I have a question. So when people ask, if someone asked you, do you want to be trans? Do you have an answer for that? Because I hear people say that they want to be trans. They want to convince people to be trans. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Do you want to? Well, they'll say yes. Honestly, like I trained myself to be straight by my dad taking me to Hooters at 5 years old and assaulting.
Yeah, thank God he took me to Hooters because I would have been totally sucking down pipe left and right. Dad didn't take me to Hooters.
Dude, if I saw a gay guy kissing right now, I'd start joining him. Honestly, like it's just how it works. You just see it, you got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God, dear old pops, at the age of 7 took me to a strip club, set me straight on the narrow. And see, that's my problem. My dad never took me to no strip clubs when I was younger. Something about being a dignified man and whatnot.
That's crazy.
All right, I'm going to get off now.
Congrats.
You have a good night.
Have a good one. Hello.
Hey.
This is the YouTube thing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up? You're live.
Awesome. Dude, I'm a libertarian. I stumbled on your YouTube channel. I'd like to find a way for us to move forward for everyone in this country. How do we do that?
Well, I'm fighting right now with libertarians on Twitter because my position is if someone's a libertarian and they thought Trump was better for freedom than Harris, then they don't know what freedom is. And I think a lot of libertarians have issues with interpreting freedom. So I think starting there, like lesser of two evils voting, I think is a really big thing that helps us move forward. Like I think some people disagree. But I think having the inability to see like who's worse is hard. So I think we can't really move forward unless if we have sober conversations like that.
Yeah, and here's the problem is we don't understand who's worse and who's better.
Sure.
I mean, the crazy thing is this is concealed from us by today's media from both sides. Doesn't matter if it's Fox News or MSNBC. How do we find the truth?
Well, like in Trump's own words in 2020, he talked about suspending the Constitution and he tried getting his DOJ to seize voting machines. And Trump has worshipped Putin and Kim Jong-un and Xi Jinping. And he said how he loves how they He said he loves how they hold their people under iron fist. He loves how they rule over their people, and he wishes his generals and his people had to stand like Kim Jong-un's people have to stand for him. So, like, hearing Trump say that and trying to suspend things like habeas corpus and using the Alien Enemies Act and all these laws that are wartime measures designed to strip away constitutional rights in times of national emergency, I would say that's always more dangerous. Based off Trump's own words and election denying, much more dangerous than anything any Democrat has said. Pretty much, I mean, in the past, definitely in the past 15, 20 years, even if you think Democrats are anti, like, gun, for example, if you're really big Second Amendment, you know the Supreme Court is going to slap down whatever they try to do for guns. So, like, pragmatically, I would just say, Democrats, if they do things you don't like, are going to work within the institutional system and the Constitution. And Trump gave clear indications he does not care at all about American values, freedom, or the rule of law. And I mean, even Trump said he likes red flag laws because red flag laws allow you to take away guns with no due process. Like, Trump literally bragged on tape with Pam Bondi in like 2018 or 2019. He loves red flag laws because you don't got to worry about courts or anything. So.
Yeah, but we have a younger crowd that's not
Sure.
willing to subscribe to the craziness of yesteryear. And ultimately, people are looking for something new. How do we find that as the new generation of politics? You're talking sense. I appreciate what you're saying.
Well, I know people don't like sense. Are you saying that people want things that are like I don't know, a new narrative?
No, exactly. And ultimately, I don't agree with everything you're saying. I agree with most of what you're saying.
Okay.
But we have a new generation that's looking for a new era of politics. How do we get the new generation to buy into it?
I don't know, because for things to really change, the world probably needs to fall apart so people understand why things are how they are. Because the world is really difficult, but people think we're going to have a utopia, and there's like this one group preventing us, whether it's far right people with the Jews or the far left with only exclusively the cabal of the evil rich billionaires. Like, it's not exclusively any issue. And by the way, the far right people, their issues are just completely fantastical and fake. Although rich people are an issue, I do not think the Jews are an issue. I do hate Nazis, by the way, just to clarify. Nazis are bad. I know it's a very brave position now with Kanye West coming out, but Nazis are bad. But yeah, everyone has their scapegoat, everyone has their narrative. But really, we might need a shock to the system, which I don't want. But people don't understand why things are how they are, or people don't understand how it matters to, or why it matters to work with people who disagree with you and people that don't have the same viewpoint as you. And social media, the echo chambers are making things much, much, much worse. I would say I'm challenging people to look at their local governments and to vote in those, because young people do not vote in local elections at all. Young people are pathetic when it comes to voting in local elections. If young people wanted to change America and they really cared, if young people actually cared, if young people cared, they would vote in every school board election at the same rates they vote at the presidency. If young people voted for state house races, state senate, governor, and school boards and local boroughs and all that stuff at the same rate as they do president, this entire country would change in 10 years. But they don't.
What you're saying is so important and so real. And ultimately, I think the American people are more together than they are apart today, more than ever. But there's so much division, and we have to realize that we're together more than we're apart. And the minute we do that, we'll be unstoppable. That's all I had to say. Thank
Okay,
you
I appreciate
for your
the
time,
sentiment.
man.
Yeah, I appreciate you calling. Have a good night.
You-
Someone named Someone named Yoshi Jones, all right, came in and said, "Seen Harris in her lingerie." Said, "Where are the bots? Most people are against him. Haha." Said, "I hate Nazis. Who even needs to say that?" It's a type of humor. It's called like irony, or like, it's pointing out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry that you are, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you don't. I don't know what to say. Okay. Thank you so much for $20, Jordan. Thank you so much for $20. No message, but thank you for supporting independent Jolahism, mediaism for the Jolatarians. Z Real said, "This is so fake." Yes, Z Real. Yes, Z Real. You know what's fake, Z Real? Your 9,000 subscriber YouTube channel is fake. Because you're too cute. Look at you. You're a cutie pie. You're a cutie pie. Look at you.
Spurs.
Oh, you like basketball?
Sorry
Oh, you're a Wemby fan, dude?
for this year basketball. Holy shit! Sorry for the cursing. Please subscribe.
I appreciate you said sorry for the cursing. How about them Pacers, dude? How about them Pacers? Orange Man is bad, in fact. Crazy opinion, I know. I know it's crazy. Okay, guys, I might have to call it a night tonight. Like I said, please join Discord, okay? I will join Discord right now and usually talk for a little bit after stream, but please go join Discord. I am going to hang out in there for a little bit. When you go in there, you have to verify yourself. Make sure you click the verification button or you're not going to be able to see anything else in the Discord, okay? You need to verify yourself. Then you can see everything else. Discord link is in the channel description. Actually, no, it's in video descriptions on the channel. Also in the stream description as well. Go in the stream description and the video description and find Discord link. You can join Discord. Okay, guys, join Discord. I'll see you guys there. We need more people in Discord to hang out. All right. See you in Discord, guys. Thank you. Have a great night, guys. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, mods. Robot Yoshi Outer. Is that a Yoshi robot? I feel like there are a lot of bots in chat. It definitely is. Thank you, Siri. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Avery. Thank you, members and stuff. Trash person. No! Where is the Discord? Discord is in the channel video descriptions. Go on my channel. Okay, click on my channel. Go on a video. Go under the video. Go under a video on my channel, all right? When you go under a video on my channel, there will be a Discord link in there. Or under the stream description, okay? Stream description or my channel description. Or my not channel. Stream description or my video descriptions, okay? Stream or video descriptions. There's Discords. You can join the Discord. Join Discord. Make sure you hit verify when you join, okay? We'll be in there chatting for a little bit. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great... Jolah for president. Wow. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn the notifications on for when I go live. You're already on the Discord. Thank you. Interact with me. Join the Discord. Thank you, guys. Good night, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all the new viewers as well. All the new faces coming back every night. Really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow night. I should be. Yeah, tomorrow night at... tomorrow night, 9:30. Thank you, Aunt D, for joining the Discord. Thank you all for joining the Discord server. Thank you for joining Discord, guys. There's people talking right now. Join Discord. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. There's also text chats in Discord, too, if you want to do text chatting, if you don't want to use your voice. So you can do that as well. But yeah, join, subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to donate to Jolah Politics on PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. That's the best place to donate as well. It goes right to my thing at a very small transaction fee versus super chatting and stuff. But super chats are really fun to see them and to make yourself known to the chat as someone who donated so you could get applause. So I appreciate that as well. Super chats are awesome. Super chats are lit. Yes, please super chat. Please, please, please super chat. Please super chat. But yeah, join Discord, guys. I'm ending the stream now. Thank you for watching. Get a real job. No. This is not even a job, brother. This is nothing. This is just a dream. Yoshi won't be back, but can't leave. LOL. Thank you. Tonight was crazy. LOL. Tonight was crazy, huh? PDS channel. Yes, true. True, true, true. Alright, guys. Have a good night. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you again. Hey, bro, love. Quit asking for money. No, I will keep asking for money. I will continue asking for money. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Okay.